Hi friends, I'm Carol Keller, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois in the United States. And today I have a fun fold card for you, and it really is not only fun but also very easy to do. As you'll see, I've already made a bunch of them and I encourage you to do the same. It's called an accordion fold card. And like I said, it's really easy to put together. It won't take you very long at all. So it's easy to do multiples. And I feel like it's got a little bit of effort with a really big impact. So I hope you like it. All right, here we go. Here is today's card. It is a fun fold. I love fun folds. It's called an accordion fold. And that's what it looks like from the top and from the front when you open it. Or this is the inside, but sort of lying flat. And I love these. I love fun folds. I really had so much fun with this that I designed a bunch of different ones. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far. So this was the first one. And then I did this one. And because I was trying to decide, because the Secret Sea in the background is so subtle, I didn't know if it would work better if I did just a white layer here. But then I wanted to try it with the Secret Sea. That's what I did first. And I like both of them, you know, personal preference, right? And this one, the placement of the little snowflake rhinestones was purposeful because there was a little mark here. And so that's where the first one went. You can usually hide a mistake, right? And I want to show you, well, I'll show you at the end, the different bling, but I'll show you that bling at the end. So that was the first card. And then I decided to experiment with some different DSPs. This one comes from, what's it called? Elegant Pine Snowflakes, that's right. So this one comes from there, that DSP. This comes from the Peaceful Garden. This one comes from Peaceful Garden. And so I was playing with, you know, I basically used the same stamp set, which was branching out. So the sentiments for all the cards come from the branching out stamp set. So thinking of you, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. I think this one is the same. Then I put this one on the outside, happiest birthday wishes on the inside, because I was really going for a birthday card theme. So yeah, it's hard, these don't lie flat, but they're so cute, aren't they? Look at that. And so this was the second one, and I did the same thing. Same DSP, I just used a different card base and I alternated the layers. So this is Pretty Peacock because that's what's in the paper. And this is Secret Sea, like I said. And then this is Secret Sea again. This is Misty Moonlight because those were the colors in the paper. So you basically have your choice. I used different bling and I'll show you both of those at the end as well. So that was my second go round and I was having so much fun. I used a different paper from the Peaceful Garden stamp, or a DSP pack. And so this was the last one I did, and we're gonna do another one like this. So, except we're gonna use the opposite colorway. So I'm gonna move these out of the way and I'm gonna move this aside. And I'll use my bone folder, but I don't think it's gonna help with the accordion to really help it lie flat, but we'll do that so you can still see it. So on this one, I started with a Misty Moonlight card base. We're gonna do the opposite from what I did on that card. So we're gonna start with a Secret Sea card base this time. And it's typical A2 size, so 5.5 by 4 1/4, except that normally you cut it the other way. So this is half of your 8.5 by 11. So you cut it this way with the 8.5 side here and the 11-inch side on the side, cut it in half and then score it in half also. So that's what we started with. And I was sort of experimenting as I put these together. So I'll show you, I'll do it in the order that I think is easiest for assembly. This is a piece of that DSP and it's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And we're gonna put that on right away because I think that's the easiest way. I started with I was part of a tutorial group who we did a tutorial using this fun fold. And the instructions said to start putting the accordion on the inside first. And I felt like that made it a little more awkward. So I'm gonna tell you, put your DSP on the front first. soon as I get my tape runner going here. So this is going to go right here. And I'm showing you the different card bases because I couldn't decide which one I liked better. So I figured if I showed both, then you can decide which one you like best. And I'm going to bring in the pieces that I've cut out. So this goes on the inside. This is, I believe, 2 3/4, yeah, by 3 3/4. And then I have labels that come from the branching out die set, cut in Basic White, Secret Sea, and Misty Moonlight. This is also cut out in Misty Moonlight, and it comes from that same die set. And I cut this one out as well. I thought I lost it, but there it is in the envelope. So that was good. So we're gonna start with our stamping. And you'll see, for the first card I started with, Thinking of You Brings Joy to My Heart, because I didn't want to take up the whole label. But I really liked this sentiment, and so then I tried it. And it wouldn't have worked as well with the dies that I used here, also from branching out, but it works beautifully with the Peace on Earth dies. So again, I will show you everything at the end. So even though the sentiment's longer, I felt like it worked. So we're going to stamp that sentiment in Misty Moonlight. So let me bring in Misty Moonlight and the sentiment. And I'm moving it as far over to the right as I can. Good. It's hard to do this on camera. It's not always as straight as I want it, but that's pretty good. And for the inside, I'm using Happiest Birthday Wishes because it fits nicely. The inside being so small, I used, again, a longer sentiment. On previous cards, I used the one that was on the outside, on the inside, but it works, but I liked that this takes up a little less room. And then we're going to take that Happiest Birthday Wishes stamp and stamp it on the envelope as well. We'll bring that in. And that is it for our stamping. I'm going to move that envelope out of the way and the ink pad. So what I found is that once everything is prepped, the cards come together very quickly, and the prep isn't that bad. So our stamping is done. I'm going to move this aside for now because we're going to need it a little bit. We're going to work on the front. So we're going to layer these all together with some seal. Now we're going to take we'll take the little one and put it on the inside. And actually, I didn't show you the different cards, but I had one up here. I couldn't decide where to put it. I had one down here like this. Let me move my finger so you can see. And then I had one like this, and I think I'm going to go with that one. You can decide which one you like best. You may even find a different spot that you'd like to put it, whatever works for you. So I'm going to put mine here, burnish it with my finger so that adhesive sticks, and now we're going to move that aside. And I forgot to say I put adhesive sheets on the back before I ran them through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because that makes this next part much easier. If you know me, you know I'm not a huge fan of the green glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue, and so I like my seal or my adhesive sheets if it's a narrow die cut like this one is. And I'm going to layer that here with the stem overlapping because I just want the leaves on here. And they pretty much fill that whole space top to bottom. I'm going to burnish with my finger, and I'm going to snip off that excess at the end, just like that. All right, I don't even know where it went. Oh, here it is. And so now this is almost ready to put on the card, but first we're going to add some ribbon. So for that, I have the Misty Moonlight silver edged ribbon. So pretty. Because I used baker's twine, just white baker's twine on some of the earlier versions because the background was so dark. And then with some of the lighter backgrounds, I knew I needed bolder, more colorful ribbon, and I thought this worked really well. So I'm just folding it in half and measuring it about like that. I'm gonna make the end pretty like this. Cut it at an angle, and we'll take that ribbon out of the way. I'm gonna cut this one at an angle as well. Takes a few snips when you're not holding it taut. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a piece of, or a glue dot, and put it in the middle so that it holds those two pieces of ribbon together. So I'll put it in the middle and fold it like this. And then I'm going to put a couple on the front. Just like that. So I've got a couple on the front, which you probably can't even see. This is going to go behind and at an angle behind that label, that sentiment label. So it's peeking out of there, but it's so pretty. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And I like to use the edges on pieces that are large like this. You could use your foam adhesive strips too. Those would work very well. And I'm going to snip from one side, but I don't need the whole length. Do about like this, I think. And what I like to do, especially when there's ribbon or twine, is lay it across so it helps hold it in place. So that's what I'm going to do, is cut pieces that will help anchor it. So we're going to do the same thing with what's on the side. Kind of eyeball. Yeah, I think this will work. About like that. Put it here, and then do one more from this side, which I think I'm going to leave this here and do this. Hopefully it's not too long. It might be. Yeah, it's all right. I will trim it down. I can still use that again on a different card. And then hold it down here. This makes it so much easier because instead of having a million glue dots, I just have 3 strips. I'm going to take that paper off, lickety split like that. And then it's ready to go on the front of the card. Like this, centered. And you can see, you know, if I didn't point this out before, I used Secrecy as the background in contrast with the Misty Moonlight, and here I did the opposite. You could put this, layer them this way on this card if you wanted, so that the background matched up with the largest layer. Completely up to you. And I did use for this card the hues of blue flowers, and we do have another option too, but let's do the inside. So for that, I also have, this out of the way, a piece of DSP that's 4 inches by 12. We have to do some scoring with this to make our accordion fold. So let me open this up. I'm going to move this out of the way right now so you can see. So we are going to score it, and it's going to go this way, but it really doesn't matter when you're scoring. You're going to start at the 3-inch spot, 3-inch mark. Get that cutting blade out of the way. And we're going to start at 3 inches and score it at every inch up through 9 inches. And now that we've got it scored, so we've got 3 inches at each end, that's going to get adhered to the card base. We're going to start by folding it inside like that to the inside. And then we're going to alternate back and forth just like this. with our folds. And so when you're done, it should look like this on both sides. And you can see it's not exact, but because I did it very quickly on camera, but it's going to be fine. It's very forgiving. You don't need to worry. And we're going to burnish a little bit here. And then make sure we have it going the correct way. Now, the directions say, on my tutorial, say to start from the back, but we're actually going to start from the front just because, let me put that back so you can see it, just because we have a lot going on here. I think it's easier to do that first. Really kind of doesn't matter. So we're going to put adhesive on the back of that first 3-inch section, just like this, and adhere it to the inside card front. So again, making sure that's the front and this is going in the correct direction. We're going to adhere it like this. And it's a little awkward, but not bad at all. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to put some adhesive, again, on that 3-inch section. And we're going to line it up with the edge here, leaving a border all the way around. And then you're just going to want to pull up the middle a little bit, and that'll get it to fold the right way. So it should look like that when it's closed. And then we're going to put this on the inside. Just like this, layering it again. So that's our inside, and that's our outside. The only thing we have left is some bling. So again, I used the hues of blue flowers. There is another option though that I used on one of the other cards, which is the low profile sparkle dots. This is actually Secret Sea, and they're very sparkly. So you could use that, but I think I'm going to use the flowers. I do like the way that looks. But that is an option if you don't like or don't have the flowers. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. And I think I'm going to use the large Misty Moonlight flower here because I have Secret Sea here. I want the contrast. I'm using Cloud Cover, the small one, to put up here. And then we'll take a small Secret Sea and put it up here, maybe like this. And that is it. The card is complete. Isn't that fun and easy? It's got a big, showstopper look to it, but it's very easy as you saw. So let me show you what else I used. Here's that white twine that I used on this one. And then I realized I wanted something that was going to show a little bit more. I felt like it got lost. So you saw the flowers and the sparkle dots. The other bling that I used on the first card was the Faceted Snowflakes. So these are pretty peacocks, so they matched perfectly. And then there's white, and I believe this is Cherry Cobbler. So that was an option for the first card. I used the Peace on Earth bundle. So there's the stamp set. Well, we didn't use the stamp set, but I'll show it to you because it comes in a bundle. What we used was the dies, these two, and I did sort of forget until I pulled these out that they also have labels that layer. So if you wanted to, if you don't have the branching out bundle, you could very easily use these two dies from Peace on Earth to create those labels on the front, and you would just pick, the white for the smaller one and then either Secret Sea or Misty Moonlight for the larger one. So that totally works. But that is the bundle. And then the branching out bundle. These are the wonderful sentiments. And the whole stamp set, but I love the sentiments and I love the font. It also has dies. And I use these for the labels on all of the cards. And then I use these dies on the first card I showed you. So definitely two wonderful bundles. And then last but not least, the DSP. So for the very first card, I'll bring it in again. I used the Elegant Pine Snowflakes DSP. That was this card. So, and I don't have that much of it left because I've been using it quite a bit. This is some of it. Here's another scrap that I used for another card recently. Don't even have a full sheet left. There's the other side, and the other sides of these are here. And so, and then the sixth sheet is this, and I'll see if I can show you the inside as well, which I think I can. So this is one side, and then here's the other one, which is similar. Hopefully you can see that. It's similar to this one, but it's not the same because you can see it's got a different back, but it's similar to this. So that is one DSP pack. And then the one that I used for this is called Peaceful Garden. So here are the papers from Peaceful Garden. This one obviously we used on today's card, and this was one of my other variations that used that one. I've used these papers quite a bit already. This is actually, part of this is from a second paper pack as I was blowing through the first one, and then the other sides. So really, really pretty. And I like it that you could use it for Christmas, but I purposely didn't, to show you that, you know, even though it coordinates with the Peace on Earth bundle, you don't have to use it for just a Christmas card. So I like to get a lot of versatility from my stamp sets and papers, and I thought this one was a great one to showcase for that. All right, I am going to turn the camera back around to me to sign off. Hello again, thanks for joining me. I hope you liked today's card and all the alternatives that I showed you. I hope you will also try this card for yourself, and if you do, please post a picture in the comments because I'd love to see it. Leave me some love in the comments as well. I really appreciate that. And while you're on my YouTube channel, check out my other videos. I have lots of other cards, scrapbook pages, home decor items, tips and techniques, and beginner videos. I do paper pumpkin alternatives just about every month, so check those out too. Subscribe to my channel, and if you haven't done so already, and if you click the bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. All right, take care everyone. Happy stamping.